Hey guys, welcome to Amazing Chinese Characters with Skylar. So remember my first video about the character Shan meaning mountain? Well, today we're going to talk about the character for a very common thing on a mountain, earth, or 土. So again, this is a pictograph. The earliest version of 土 in oracle bone inscriptions was meant to look like earth piled on the ground, but for some reason it was oval-shaped, more like a leaf or a flame than a mound of dirt. Then, the bronze molds of bronze inscriptions allowed the oval to be filled in to look more stately and solemn for ceremonies. Later, with the standardization of seal script, the earth mound was replaced with a horizontal and a vertical stroke, and the character was made taller. In clerical script, we see a new kind of horizontal stroke, the 3-undulation horizontal stroke. It is one of the only 2 strokes in clerical script to have thickness alterations. So the base stroke was changed into this form, probably to give a sense of finality and possibly to show off. Finally, the regular script for 土 drops the flourish and reverts to a uniform horizontal stroke. And now let's write 土 in 3 ways. Firstly, it's regular script, nice and easy. So as always, you write your horizontal stroke like this. So press it downwards towards the right at the beginning, pull it across, then press it downwards towards the right again at the end, and then you sort of overlap it back. And now secondly, for the vertical stroke. So it's the thickest in entire character. So yeah, of course you should make it thicker. So again, same process, press downwards toward the right, pull it down, and then press downwards toward the right again, and then lift up for a bit of overlap. And now the final stroke. Just the elongated version of the first horizontal stroke. And there you have it. And now I'll write it in running script. So as usual, in running script, there can be quite a lot of variety to the character. So you don't need to exactly write it as I will, but I'll just show you one of the ways to write 土 in running script. So again, the same 3 strokes, but now the form is more sort of freestyle. And finally, let's write it in clerical script. So there's a new stroke here, it's the 3-undulation horizontal stroke. And I'll write it first to show you, and then I'll explain it more specifically. So this is the 3-undulation horizontal stroke in clerical script. So to write it, you first need to press the brush backwards towards the left here for a thick stroke initiation, and it's also the first undulation. And then you slowly relieve the pressure as you start moving your brush horizontally. So at the middle, around here, it's supposed to be thinnest, and it's also the second undulation. And around here, you start pressing down again with your brush until you reach the very end. And as this is the thickest part of the stroke, is called the third undulation. And around here, you can stop and lift up your brush a bit more quickly than before to create this sort of pointed stroke termination. So just remember that, as usual in clerical script, the character is fatter than these 2. And in running script, well, there isn't much say about the structure of 土. It's better if you write it more compact since there are only 3 strokes. And for regular script, so firstly, this part and this part, they should be equal in length to make it more orderly and uniform. And secondly, from the tip to the tip of the longest stroke, so these three should be on the same line, and these three as well. So the entire structure sort of looks like a triangle. And that's also to make it look more stately and stable. So everyone, this is the evolution of 土 and 3 ways to write it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.